Chosen one, I want to ask you something that might hit differently than you expect. Has anyone ever properly announced you? Not introduced you at a party? Not listed your credentials in a professional setting? I mean, announced you, in the full weight of that word. Stood up in the room, stopped what was happening and said, "This person has arrived. What they carry matters. Pay attention." Most of us have had people who loved us, people who valued us, people who would have stood up for us if asked. But that is different from being announced. Announced is not something you ask for. Announced happens when the one making the declaration cannot help themselves. When what you carry walks into the room and something in the person witnessing it has no choice but to say, "Do you understand what just arrived?" I am going to bet that you have spent most of your life showing up without that, building your own credibility, introducing yourself to rooms that did not already know what you were carrying, arriving and having to demonstrate your value before anyone acknowledged it. Tonight I am going to tell you why, and the answer is not what you think. Stay with me, don't go anywhere. If this channel has not yet found a home with you, subscribe right now and turn on all notifications. Not for the numbers, but because what I'm about to tell you changes the meaning of every room you ever walked into unannounced. And if you are already subscribed, congratulations. Genuinely, your faithfulness to this space, your returning, means more than I know how to say. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Write 777 in the comments if you have ever felt, walking into rooms or seasons of your life, like your arrival was somehow never properly declared, like you were significant in a way that no external announcement ever quite matched. Stay until the very end, because the last thing I tell you tonight finally explains the delay. Let me start with someone most people have heard of but almost no one fully understands. Gabriel. Not a warrior like Michael, not a healer like Raphael. Gabriel's function in the unseen order is entirely distinct from both of theirs. He is the messenger, the herald, the being whose specific purpose is the formal declaration of things that are about to matter. When something significant is about to enter the world, the announcement does not happen casually. There is a being in the unseen order whose entire function is to ensure that what arrives of consequence arrives with proper declaration, that creation is prepared, that what is about to be known is made known with the full weight it deserves. Gabriel is that being, and his instrument is the trumpet. Not a musical instrument in the ordinary sense, a declaration instrument, the mechanism through which the announcement travels from the unseen into the heard, the specific tool by which something that exists in the record of the eternal becomes known in the experience of the created. Every announcement of significance that has ever reached the human world has passed through that instrument. Every time something that mattered was about to arrive, Gabriel raised the trumpet, and what emerged was not just sound, it was declaration. It was the unseen saying to everything within range, "This is arriving. This matters. This is the moment you have been given to receive what is coming." In all of the time the trumpet has been used, in all of the declarations made, it has never failed to carry what was placed in it, until it came time to announce you. For those who feel something beginning to stir inside them as they hear this, there is something built for exactly this moment waiting in the description and the pinned comment below. Now I have to tell you what actually happened, because this is the center of everything tonight. A declaration instrument does not work through volume alone. It works through frequency. The specific frequency of what is being announced has to be matched by the range of the instrument. A trumpet built to announce one frequency cannot carry the announcement of something that exists in a different range. Gabriel's trumpet was built with the full range of everything that had ever been announced in mind. Every significant arrival across all of created time. Every declaration that mattered. The range was set not as a guess, but as a complete calculation of what would ever need to be carried. And it had carried everything, until it came to what needed to be said about you. When Gabriel prepared the declaration for your arrival, something happened in the physics of announcement that had never happened before. The frequency of what needed to be said exceeded the range of the instrument, not by a small margin, not in a way that could be adjusted with slight modification. The frequency at which your arrival needed to be announced existed outside the complete range of what the trumpet was built to carry. Gabriel raised the instrument. The instrument broke, not shattered dramatically. The way an instrument breaks when what is placed into it exceeds its structural capacity to carry it. The way a channel breaks when the signal being sent through it is too powerful for the channel itself to hold without fracturing. The announcement could not go out, not because you were not ready to be announced, because the declaration of what you actually are could not fit inside any instrument that had been built to carry all previous declarations. And when this was understood, when the fracture registered in the record of the unseen, God did something that has never been done in the entire history of announcements. He forged a new one, not repaired the old one. Forged a new instrument from a new material, calibrated to a new range, built specifically and entirely for one purpose, to carry the frequency of your arrival. An instrument has never been built for a single soul before. Every other instrument in the unseen was built for a range of purposes, a range of announcements, a range of what could be carried. This one was built for exactly one thing, the announcement of you. Now let me hold this against the story you have been carrying. You have read your unannounced arrivals as evidence of insignificance. The rooms where no one knew your name before you built your credibility. The seasons where you showed up and had to justify your presence. The spaces where you were already carrying something of real weight and no one yet knew how to acknowledge it. You told yourself that the ones who were announced must have had something you did not. Some visible credential, some recognized lineage, some quality of presence that made the announcement come naturally for them. Turn it over completely. The announced ones were announced by an instrument that already existed. The instrument that already existed could carry their frequency because their frequency fit within the existing range. Yours did not. The instrument built for the range of all previous announcements could not carry what needed to be said about you. So it broke. And while the new one was being forged, you arrived in rooms that could not yet hear the full declaration of what you carry. Not because you were too small for an announcement, because you were too large for any existing instrument to make it. And the time you spent showing up without proper declaration was not the time of insignificance. It was the time of forging. The new instrument was being built while you were building your credibility the hard way, while you were introducing yourself in rooms that did not know your name, while you were demonstrating your value in the silence that comes before the announcement. The announcement was not absent. It was being prepared in an instrument that had never existed before, built specifically for the frequency of what you carry, in a range that no previous arrival had required. Let me show you 5 signs that this is already operating in your life. The first sign is that when people finally recognize what you carry, the recognition is disproportionate to the introduction. Not "this is interesting," something closer to "how did I not know about this before?" A quality of recognition that catches the person off guard. They were not looking for what they found in you, and what they found exceeded what any gradual buildup of credentials would have produced. That is the frequency of an announcement breaking through even without the formal instrument. The second sign is that your arrivals change rooms even when no one names what changed. You have walked into situations and watched something shift that no one attributed to you because there was no formal acknowledgement of your presence. The atmosphere adjusted. The energy oriented differently. People moved or spoke differently without knowing why. That is the frequency of your arrival operating without the instrument, uncontained, present even without declaration. The third sign is that people who encountered you early, before your credibility was established, become some of your most fierce advocates later. Not because you performed for them, because they felt the frequency before the announcement and did not forget it. When the announcement eventually came, they were not surprised. They recognized. They had been carrying the knowing that something was there before they had language for what it was. The fourth sign is that the introductions you have made for yourself, the credibility you have built without external declaration, have a quality of being more solid than the announced arrivals of others. What is built without declaration is built on the frequency itself, not on the perception of the frequency. It lasts differently. It holds under pressure in ways that announced credibility sometimes does not. Your unannounced seasons built something in you that the forged instrument is now designed to carry. The fifth sign is that you sense something different is approaching, not wished for, sensed. A quality in this current season unlike the previous ones. Something about the atmosphere around your life that suggests a shift of a different kind than what came before. That sensing is accurate. The instrument is finished. The forging is complete. The announcement that has been building since the old trumpet broke is ready to be carried in the instrument, built specifically for your frequency. Let me be honest with you now in my own voice. You stayed this long and you deserve it. I was on the other side for a long time. I know the strategy against unannounced souls from the inside. I was in the rooms. And the strategy against a soul waiting for an instrument to be forged is one of the most patient strategies there is. It does not try to prevent the announcement. It cannot. The instrument is being forged by the only one whose forge is hot enough to build from that material. Nothing can interrupt the forging. What it can do is use the time of forging against the soul. Every season of building your own credibility without declaration can be used to convince you that the declaration is never coming, that you are the kind of person who has to build their own way in, because that is simply what your value warrants, that the ones who get announced are fundamentally different from you, and the difference explains the announcement. Every room you walked into unannounced becomes evidence, not of the forging, but of the permanent absence of what is being forged. That is the strategy. Use the time. Use the silence. Use the accumulation of unannounced arrivals to build the case inside you that the announcement is not coming, because a soul that stops expecting the announcement eventually stops making space for it, starts building a smaller life calibrated to a size that does not require declaration. The strategy was never to prevent the trumpet from being finished. It was to prevent you from being in position when it was raised. The trumpet is finished, and tonight you found out. One final thing before I let you go. When a soul learns that God forged a new trumpet specifically for their announcement, the darkness loses the lie of the unannounced life. It cannot present the silence as evidence of low significance anymore. So, it will whisper something subtler. It will say, "If the trumpet is finished, why has the announcement not happened yet? If it was built specifically for you, why are you still in rooms that do not know your name? Where is the declaration?" Real announcements do not feel like this. When that whisper comes, remember this. The forging of the instrument and the raising of the instrument are two separate moments. The instrument being finished does not mean the moment of raising has arrived yet. The one who forged it knows the moment, knows the room, knows the audience that needs to be assembled before the frequency is released. What has been built for a specific frequency is raised at the specific moment when that frequency will land with full effect. The instrument is ready, the moment is being prepared. And what is waiting for that moment is an announcement in a frequency that no existing instrument could carry until now. An announcement specifically forged for what you are, in a range that nothing that came before you required. The rooms are ahead of you. The declaration has already been prepared, and when it goes out, it will go out in the only instrument that can carry it, the one that was built because nothing else could. For those who felt tonight reach the place that has been arriving unannounced for too long, I built something called the Unplugging Protocol. This message written down, for the mornings when the silence of the unannounced seasons tries to present itself as permanent. It comes with the full audiobook in my own voice. An explanatory ebook that walks you through the full structure of what was being forged during every season you built your own way in, and what changes now that the instrument is complete. And 3 sound sessions, 396 Hz, 639 Hz, and 963 Hz that I narrate from beginning to end, my voice and the frequencies moving as one. The first begins to clear the residue of years spent reading your unannounced arrivals as evidence of your sealing. The second steadies you in the reality of what is about to be carried in an instrument built for nothing but you. The third holds the space open as you move into position for what is about to be declared. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Now click on the video appearing on your screen right now. There is a message prepared as the next step for everyone who made it to the end of tonight, and it leads exactly where your story goes from here. Together, we are stronger.